There are three stories on trade this week, and I think the U.S.-China one's the most important of them. The first, of course, is the Canada talks resume again tomorrow. My guess is there'll be a deal. We've got 3 months to reach one. The makings of it are there. There's a lot of bluster on the president's side about withdrawing from NAFTA or doing it just bilaterally with Mexico. But you look at Congress, you look at what's at stake in the United States. 33 U.S. states have Canada as their #1 export partner. So I think that'll get solved. I think China is the more serious. Oh, and then the third issue is the subsidies that farmers can ask for, ranchers can ask for, start today. So they can, under U.S. law from 1933, the Depression, they can ask for relief from anything that they've lost in terms of trade from soybean farmers, sorghum, that sort of thing. And then there's China. By Thursday this week, you could have the president starting to raise tariffs on $200 billion more, or up to $200 billion more of Chinese goods. My guess is this lasts into next year because this isn't just a trade dispute, as you noted. This is a geopolitical dispute. The Chinese are starting to think that President Trump isn't really looking for a trade.
We're breaking up a little. I really want to ask him. So we'll try and get it, try and fix that and get it back. Because I'm trying to figure out whether you view the world as a zero-sum game. I mean, it would seem like a really prosperous China. They buy a lot of Levi's and a lot of stuff from us. And I don't know. Do we really think of that as a do we not want China to succeed? Can't we both succeed at the same time? I don't know. I don't know how to view that necessarily. Okay, Fred, I don't know whether you heard my question. Is it a zero-sum game? If China wins, do we lose, or do if everybody prospers, isn't there more trade and we sell a lot of American goods into a new prosperous China?
Oh, it's not a zero-sum game at all, but it is a global competition, and it's going to get fiercer probably way into next year. And trade is just one part of this. You saw a huge African summit yesterday in China, where President Xi Jinping was offering $60 billion of new credits, incentives, and all sorts of other things. So they're also taking up markets where we're absent, and winning trade deals and winning infrastructure deals where we're not as present any longer. So they see this as a global competition. And in the U.S. and intelligence fields, they believe that Russia is there to disrupt us, while China is there to displace us. And there is more evidence of that recently.
What is the willingness of President Xi, do you think, Fred, to actually concede anything? I mean, he is in a position right now to not concede anything, and perhaps it's more important for him to stay committed, or at least appear to stay committed, to China 2025 domestically in China, as opposed to concede anything to President Trump. I mean, maybe that's why the Chinese delegation, when they were here, were willing to say, hey, you know what, we will move to help resolve this trade deficit issue, but we're not going to give on other points.
You know, the tone of the Chinese toward President Trump and toward the U.S. has changed in private conversations. A while ago, they felt that President Trump was the deal maker that wanted to make a deal. Now they do feel he's trying to take them down a few notches. That makes them less willing to do the negotiations that might actually bring that about. So you find them very confused and looking at the tweets, looking at the strategy, trying to figure out what direction Trump wants to go in. And a lot of Chinese are spending a lot of time in the United States trying to sort that out. So that's why I think this is not a short-term thing. I think we'll sort out NAFTA pretty short-term. But my guess is by the end of next year, 2019, we'll be talking not just about a trade dispute, but an overall sort of global contest between the U.S. and China heating up a little bit.